Think different, live different. V180.
V180.
Hey, Mel with you today on V180, and today on the podcast we are chatting with Graeber all the way from Nashville. Now, the last time we caught up with Graeber was back in 2023, so a lot has happened since then. She has just released her latest punk rock praise album covering a whole heap of viral tracks, including Brandon Lake's Gratitude, Forrest Frank's Lemonade, even Oceans is in there. I am so excited to chat to her. The album is called Punk vs. Praise, and we're going to chat all about it and how it came together. So let's get into it.
Think different, live different. V180.
V180.
Firstly, it's been a little while since we caught up. You're dropping a brand new pop vs. punk album. I've been following.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Totally. Yeah, no, it's so... Yeah, because I did a call with you a long time ago, right?
It was when you brought out Conversations.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, you just started. So it's been a hot minute. So
dang, yeah, a lot has happened since Conversations, that's for sure.
I've been following since Lemonade, and I'm just loving it. Can you tell me, when did you know that this had to be a full project, not just random social drops?
When people wanted it. It was one of those things where I did it for fun. I did it as a joke to begin with, just and then the demand overnight was crazy, and to see it connect with so many people just come out of the woodwork going, this is what we've been waiting for. Why hasn't anyone done this yet? It's like, okay, I think there's a need for this. So yeah.
Wow. How did you decide what tracks you're going to cover in punk? I feel like
that was hard. Yeah, that was hard. It was mostly what songs are currently going viral. So Dusty Bibles at the time was really viral, and Lemonade, of course. And You Say is the most popular Christian song in Christian music. That's Who I Praise was going viral at one point. So it was actually just what were the most popular Christian sounds. And then we did that. And then Ren Collective reached out about doing one of their songs. And that was the first Christian artist to reach out and ask to do a collaboration. Yeah. So that was really cool. They jumped on that before anyone else. And so I had to include that, and then we have an original song at the end of the album that we added because, why not? People are hearing this, sound, this version. They need to know that there's, other songs that sound like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. And has you had many other artists reach out that have heard their songs covered? You have? Oh, so cool.
Yeah. It's actually quite surprising how many, because I am technically an independent artist right now, and there's this illegitimacy that you feel as an independent artist next to the big dogs and next to people who are signed. And so I've had managers and I've had artists themselves who are signed reach out and see if I would do their songs, and that when people are asking for it even more, it's I know this is working because people are asking not only to listen but to be involved. Actually this whole project, the way we were able to even record it was a total God thing, because somebody at a show cut me a check to finish the whole project.
Wow.
Within the week of dropping the Lemonade video. I made a statement from the stage saying, I have this thing going viral and I'm praying about pursuing a punk covers album because these videos are touching people. And so anything in merch tonight goes towards that. Yeah. And I had someone just cut me a check and paid for the entire project. And so it was that alone was God saying, I am trusting you with this. Will you do it? Yeah. And I'm incredibly grateful for that. It definitely changed a lot of plans for me, because I was working on a complete other album altogether, and then it was well, I gotta do it now. Wow. So yeah.
Oh, that's such a God confirmation when he does stuff like that. It is oh man, okay, this has to happen. Which one had the best response on socials, you reckon?
Gratitude.
Yeah. All right.
And that one's cool. That's cool because I'll tell you what. Gratitude, I felt in my gut after I had finished. So I did the entire project with my good friend Josiah Prince from Disciple. And he and I finished all of the songs, like everything was done. And there I woke up one morning just like, I have to do gratitude. I don't know how. I don't know, like, and Josiah was about to go out to Winter Jam, so he wasn't able to record with me. And I went to my long standing producer, Blake Cross, and I said, I know I just did this whole project with Josiah, but would you mind just like, come on, like just like entertain me here, and just do a chorus of gratitude and let's just see what it does. I feel in my heart that that is something I need to do. And Blake was like, yeah, like we'll do it. I posted it. This is what's crazy. I was on vacation. And it's a really big deal for me to be off my phone because I've struggled with social media addiction on and off like forever.
Yeah.
And we were on vacation, and I said, okay, I'm just going to post once this week. I make the gratitude post. I post it. I leave my phone at the hotel, and we're at Disney World. And about like 4 hours later, my husband is in line. We're in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he always checks my socials just because he's always curious.
Yeah.
And he goes, Grace, you don't have your phone, do you? And I was like, no. And he's like, these are big numbers, right? Like, and it was like 50,000 views in like the span of
Wow.
4 hours or something like that. And then it was just growing. Like he would check throughout the day and it was like, oh, this is growing. And it just kept doing that throughout the week. But what was the craziest part was I was on vacation and I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't do anything like else.
Good timing.
And good timing. Well, it's like the Lord.
Yeah.
And I just watched the Lord maximize and maximize and maximize when for the longest time I was striving and striving and striving to get the result, because Lemonade came out, it was a huge spike, and then some of the other covers that came out just didn't do well. And you're like, when one thing does really well, like dopamine hit. Yeah. And then everything else feels a little lackluster. And so what was crazy was it was like, oh, but this isn't stopping. And it still hasn't stopped. Like it's still growing to this day.
So cool.
I think it's at like 1.1 million now. Like, but I knew I needed to do this. Okay. So not only did that happen,
Wow, that's so good.
but then I'm at a show 2 weeks ago and this kid walks up to me and he goes, I was going to take my life last week and gratitude popped up on my playlist. And he said, I felt so seen by the version of it, by the genre of it, that I decided to stay.
Oh,
And he did. And then
wow.
right. And then he looks me up, like he's just listening to this thing that popped up on a playlist. He looks me up, sees that I'm an advocate for like suicide prevention, and is like, "Whoa, her music just saved my life," and she doesn't even know it. He showed up to my show in my merch, which is always like, I'm so new still, like that. If you show up in my merch, it's like still like, oh wow, like
So cool.
wow, you really are a fan, like you really had to go get that. And he just told me it saved his life, and I was like, that came out 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Like that means that just happened. And we just bawled together. We just cried. And I got to call Blake later that day and I said, you knew how much in a rush I was to get this. I knew I had to do this. And he is why we had to do that. Because we just saved a life. And so it's really cool. And then hearing like even some secular punk artists reach out to me and who are new to the faith or are Christians and have never felt seen by Christian music, and then to say, hey, I feel like I have a place. I feel like I'm not crazy for loving Jesus and being a punk artist. And it's absolutely wild what God is doing with these covers. And what's the coolest part is like I can't take credit for any of it because I don't know how the algorithm works. Like and I don't know. I like really am just being faithful with doing it, putting it out, and then showing up for my gig essentially. So it's really a God thing, all of these covers. The way it was financially provided for, the way it was the reach was provided for, and now the messages I'm getting of like, I got a message this morning that said, "Hey, I feel seen. I feel seen." That's it. That's all I want to do. Like, like, yeah,
That's all. Yeah, it makes it all worth it. Hey. That must be like
so
so
worth it.
special for you, like knowing a bit of your background and then you coming to faith through, a punk song and then seeing someone else come to faith or through your songs. Like how
Yeah.
is that for you?
Oh, it's so full circle. And like, I'll tell you this. So I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and a lot of my old childhood heroes live here in Nashville, Tennessee. And some of my childhood heroes are currently like, they play drums for me,
So
or
cool.
they help me with like little admin stuff. And my heroes are actively involved in watching this grow. And so what's been incredible is to see not only like, see the stories for myself and hear them for myself, but like I'm like the seed they planted, and they're literally helping me water and watching this thing grow,
So
right? And
amazing.
so what's even cooler is like that's cool that like I get to see it, that, impact. And but what's even cooler is to watch them watch it, because it really shows them that all that time that they spent like hours in a van, all that time they put into their music, like they're doing other things now. They're not on the road
Yeah.
anymore, and they're not doing the same thing. So watching them watch all of this
Yeah,
happen through
wow, that's
me
so
has
cool.
been it's been really rewarding and really valuable to me, because they're watching the fruit of their hard work. I mean, it's my hard work too, but they're watching the fruit
Totally.
of what they started. And so that's been the best part, is I feel like I'm sandwiched in right now um on just the sovereignty of God. um like he's being sovereign with my fans and with the response and with like this reaction, and then he's being sovereign with what really made an impact on me, and I'm sandwiched in between all of this love. And like I feel invincible. Like I feel the most at peace I've ever felt in my
So
music
cool.
career. And like it's so easy as an artist to fall into comparison and to fall into um striving. And because I've made this genre my own and have found my niche, and then have found the people who nourish that niche, I really don't care what happens next, because I have everything like I didn't know I wanted. And but it's just a result of the glory of, like, God truly gets all the glory in this, because I could not, there's no like game plan or roadmap for any of it. Who grows up and then their childhood heroes are like actively in their life.
I know. Seriously, I grew up with like Hawk Nelson and Stella Cut and all that. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you're
Yes!
like, I'm living vicariously through you. I'm like,
Yeah, no,
I
I
just
saw
can't
Adam
imagine.
today.
Like, I saw him in one of your social videos. I'm like, man, that's just so cool.
Yeah, no, he's like a huge part of my team right now.
So
He's like
crazy.
really, we're writing like who knows for an album, whatever. But no, like yeah, Hawk Nelson was huge for me. Stellar Cart was huge, and like my drummer was in Hawk Nelson, and like
So
John
nuts.
is just a call away, and like Adam is literally like big brother like mode all the time. And it is just the coolest thing to be able to like call these people friends. And that's why I still believe, that's why I added that song at the end of this. Is my original song on this album is called Why I Still Believe. And I wrote it at a time when I didn't know all these people, and these my heroes weren't in my life, and I felt like the Lord was fulfilling dreams that I'd always wanted, boy, was I in for a shock later, and now the song is coming out. So, and these people are actively in my life, and it's like the song is almost like I wrote it for future me, of like I still believe actively in the power of Jesus, because he just proves himself time and time again through the details, through the littlest things, like because I never thought my biggest dream was for Hawk Nelson and Stellar Cart, all these bands to be like my big brothers. I never thought it would actually happen. But the Lord in like this career knew I needed big brothers. And he fulfilled that childhood dream of mine. Bizarre. Bizarre.
That's so awesome. What was your favourite track to cover, whether it was a bigger one or just one that didn't get as big of a response? Do you have a favourite that you really enjoyed?
Ah, ha, ha. Oh, you say.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
girl.
Okay.
Oh, girl. You say, girl. Um, you say what? So that like it was so hard because it was like, what do we focus on for release day? Do I focus on a cover that's done really, really well already, or do I focus on an original that hasn't done well? And so we are really focusing in on the original, of course, because like we know You Say performed really well online, but the original will need a little extra push. Anyways, that's like a logistical answer to that. But You Say sounds like Demi Lovato threw up. And somebody commented on another video earlier today and was like, this isn't punk, this sounds like High School Musical all over. And I was like, actually, like that's my version of punk.
Love it.
Actually, you got it right. And like that's the biggest compliment you could ever give me is I sound like something off a Disney Channel. And so You Say really feels like that La La Land by Demi Lovato vibes where it's just like this like and like these lyrics. What's been cool talking about the album is I'm realizing how much these like reclaiming these songs for myself really helped me lean into the lyrics and the meaning behind these songs for me. And to be honest with you, as like a pop punker, a punk artist, I used to be very anti-industry. I used to be very like, I'm not going to listen to that. Too many people are listening to it, you know? So, yeah, no, for real. Like, people do that.
So that no one knew about. And as soon as they got too big, you're like, now I'm moving to the next one.
And now, yeah, everyone likes them now, and who cares? Well, so this project forced me to actually sit with these songs that are super popular and like make them my own. And it was humbling because God showed me why they are what they are now. He showed me the meaning and the words, and he made it personal to me. And that's what I hope people really get out of this album is how personal God can be. He can take something that you love and do something with it. And it doesn't need to be like everybody else. It doesn't need to be the cookie cutter way. And how intentional of him to pick like Christian pop punk's like number one little fangirl and grow her up and put her in a place where she gets to carry that torch. That's just like, you can't make that up. And I just hope it's an example to someone else that God really sees what they love, does not judge it, and will elevate them once they've leaned into that. Because some of my favorite people are goth. Like, I love my little goth friends. And it's like they dress different, they look different, but I will tell you, some of those goth friends, like, they know Jesus better than I do some days. And that's because they've gotten real about their identity being in Christ and understanding, like, this is just a look or a style or a genre that I like, and that's okay. And I hope, like, kids will walk away, like, young kids will walk away going, Mommy, I want to listen to more music like that. And then find themselves later in life going like, that is actually my preference. And that's okay because Graeber demonstrated that it could actually be a thing, you know? And we have like a lot of now in Christian music, right now with social media, we have a lot of diversity in Christian music, but for a while we didn't. And it was just one sound all the time. And that was my generation was like, I'm kind of sick and tired. I mean, I grew up early days when Stellar Cart was like, you know, still like kicking, but like towards like my college, just starting out as an adult year, that was when Hawk Nelson switched to the radio sound and all that. And that was the sound that was popular. And And people got mad
Yeah.
during that season because they didn't actually like some of the demographic didn't actually like that sound. And no one was really like, unless you were actively looking for it, it
Yeah.
wasn't like presented to you.
nothing.
But social media
So true.
nowadays, it will be presented to you as an option. Like the algorithm will push what you like. And so someone will be like a Christian, they have Bible verses, but they're also listening to heavy metal.
Yeah.
And then it'll pop up like, what about this? And that's what's cool is God, like, I do believe there's like a lot of demonic stuff on the internet and the social media, but like I also do feel like God can use it too to direct people to something that he might use in their life in the future. And me as an artist, my responsibility is to show up online for my gig.
Yeah, totally.
It's just to show up. And so that's been really cool as people have asked me like, what do you like, how are you advertising it? How are you doing? Like people all like industry, what are you doing? And it's like, I'm not doing
just
nothing
socials,
besides showing up every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's God, hey? When you don't do anything and you
It's-
just hand it over to him and go, all right, if you want to use it, and he does. So cool, Grace.
Again, this is God. This is God. You can't make this stuff up. There's been too many coincidences in my life in the last couple of months that are like, oh my gosh. And like, again, it's, when you feel seen by God, your identity shifts in a way to where it's like, I don't feel like I have to get people to like me anymore. I really like this part of myself and I'm really happy with it. So don't fix what ain't broke, you know?
Yeah, I love it. That's so good. So now the album is out, what's next for you? Have you got any other music you're working on for the rest of the year, or are you going to tour? Or
Well, I'm definitely on tour right now. I'm on tour, my Mental Health Nights tour here in the States. We're doing that. I'm working on a ton of new music, like you said, or you saw me and Adam in the studio. Like, I literally, every time I post us in the studio, people freak out because they want a Stellar Cart reunion.
Yeah,
Everyone wants it. So flood the DMs and let them know you want it because I'm begging for it.
Even just one song. Get the band back together. Come on.
Everyone right now who is listening, go and flood Adam's DMs and tell them tell him I sent you. Actually, I've been doing that every time someone sends me a message. So his poor requests right now are pretty full. But so we're working on a lot of new music, writing a lot of songs. I have like some other things in the works that I can't talk about, but it's gonna be, I know. No, this has been torture. We're waiting on a couple things, and it's been torture doing press for this album and then being like, I have something huge coming up and I can't talk about it. So, but you'll find out soon enough. But I'm really just trying to focus on my story right now. Like the ultimate thing is an old Christian punk song, Save My Life. And I just want to save more lives. And so I really, now that we've gotten like the genre aligned, I really want to get that whole story aligned in the public eye. And what we're working on right now is going to literally expose me, all of my trauma to the world. So
in a good way. I'm so excited to see what God's going to do.
Yeah.
Hey, it's so exciting.
Me too.
Just to see from last time we chatted to where you are now, like you're just like a little rocket.
Girl, I'm trying.
So good.
Woo!
Nah, thank you so much for your time, Grace. And we have to catch up after this big news comes out, as I'm so excited to hear.
Oh yeah, we will. You'll see it. You'll see it.
Amazing. Well, all the best for the album and the tour and everything else you got going on. And we'll hopefully catch up again soon. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.